Welcome to another episode of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 75. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else that gun enthusiasts may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross, making a glorious return this week from the Firearms Radio Network. We're your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. Today, I have with me Nick and TJ. How's it going, guys?
I think we're both just collectively glad that you've healed up and you're back. I think, that's what we were most worried about. So we're glad you're back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm here, Ron.
Little known fact: if you get gangrene from a tramp stamp that was made out of a poor judgment mistake, if you rub a little frog lube on there, it makes it all go better. It just closes up the open sores, and it kind of stays off the infection. The doctors are amazed, really. So I got to talk to the frog lube guys and see if they can market that for the over-the-counter crowd.
And it smells so good too.
Oh, I know. It makes me want. I wish I could just rub it on my chest when I'm congested. Forget that. Leave this stuff. I just want frog lube on my chest and the hair.
I don't believe you just said I want frog lube on my chest.
So anyway, have you guys done anything good in guns this last couple weeks since I haven't heard from you?
I have not. Just been making plans for NRA in a couple weeks coming up.
And well, as we were talking about before, that the Tika T3 my first precision build that I'm starting, ordered some parts for that, then ordered some Glock 42 parts for the stock trigger. Comes in about 7.5 pounds, and I don't necessarily like that. So ordered some parts on that, did some shooting with the Glock 42 last week, but this week has not went according to plan due to children.
So you trading the 42 in for a 43?
Absolutely not.
So at 7 pounds, don't they quote that it's around 5.5, right?
Yep, both of the, because I borrowed one from work to make that video that I did of, I started that series of building the Ultimate Glock 42 on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I borrowed one from work, and then, both are advertised as 5.5 pounds. Mine comes in at 7 pounds, 8 ounces, or 8.5 ounces, rather. So both of them are, they're a Glock trigger, they're just stiffer. So I'm going to try to work that down. I ordered in parts from Galloway Precision, which, by the way, they ship really fast, which is really nice. So those parts come in this coming Thursday. And so looking to see their I think they call it Performance Kit, Spring Kit. So we'll see where that comes in. Then I'll probably also order the OC Custom, OC Trigger Custom, I can't remember their exact name, adjustable take-up trigger, and throw that in there as well, and continue that the Ultimate Glock 42 build. People are already commenting, oh, go buy a Glock 43. But it means there's not a whole lot of, you know what, we'll save it for later.
I still can't believe that out of almost 70 weeks on the air without skipping one, the one episode I'm gone and I leave you the keys, the castle, you go and introduce the Glock 43. I feel like you took my own date to prom. That's how I feel right now.
Well, had both of you in fact, not got rid of your Glocks, it wouldn't have happened. But this was the Glock gods smiling down on me and giving me my one moment to reign supreme.
It's probably cosmic disruption.
Better that way, because I feel like you got a lot more excited than I would have on the air. So I feel like you still had that young, excitable innocence, and I would have been just jaded from the start.
I'm very innocent. I don't have a tramp stamp.
Now, the listeners might not know this, but before the show, Ryan sent us the show notes, and then Nick completely decided to dismantle them.
Yeah, total hostile takeover of what I put together. But, I think you made some good choices. I'm glad you left the EDC trauma kit on there, because I think that's kind of important. If you're going to train to put holes into people, you should know how to treat holes in yourself, or if you put a hole in somebody and then all of a sudden turns out that they're a really nice person, or you feel bad, you could patch them up.
Hey, to give you a good plug on the show notes for that episode, if you go to Firearms Insider, click on Gun and Gear Review Podcast, go to the bottom. Actually, a listener commented on the show notes about another company that makes a EDC trauma kit for $15.99.
Wow.
I actually got in touch with that company. Hold on, I'll pull up the email because I corresponded with them because I was like, hey, you know, they mentioned this, and the listener came on and mentioned it, and I thought it was really kind of cool. Where's the email at? But if you go check the show notes of last week, episode 74, go to the bottom. There's a link. They're not exactly the same, so you know, don't think wow, I'm getting an $80 thing for $15. No, not necessarily, but it is a really good kit for $15. I've been talking with them. I'm going to try to get a couple of them to try to do a review on, and then talk about them on the channel and on the show. But if you're looking for something that's more affordable, that might necessarily have all that bells and whistles, but still looking to carry something that is EDC, go to the link on the show notes last week, and one of the listeners gives the link right there to go buy one for $15.99, or you can get the holster for it for like $4 more. So you can spend $20 on a medical EDC kit and be doing pretty darn good.
Nice.
Let's see. I have it pulled up right here. It's got the website is rescue-essentials.com, and it's called the Patrol Officer's Pocket Trauma Kit. It's got one SWAT T, which I'm pretty sure is the same that the one last week had, right?
Yeah, it has that. The difference
is Z-Pack dressing, one pair of nitrile gloves, and 3 feet of duct tape. So what's it missing?
I have to go back. Why is my email not showing up? I'm trying to find the email because they actually explained it to me too. Was the deal on that? And I'm trying to, for some reason, of course, the one time I need my email to work, it's not.
Of course. It looks like it might be a little smaller, maybe a little bulkier, but smaller in the width, I guess. It's not quite as compact, I suppose.
Yeah, in looking at different kits, I mean, there's a lot of them I saw on Amazon going for like $100, $150 that were, you know, marketed as, you know, carry in your pocket. So it's nice to see some that are definitely lower than that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess it probably is a little bit smaller than this one we covered last week.
All right, so I got it up here. So they actually emailed me and they defended ITS saying that it's not the same kit. It includes the Combat Gauze LE, a hemostatic, whereas the one I'm discussing that's $20, their POPTK includes Z-Pack dressing, which is a simple gauze. He said that accounts for most of the price difference.
Yeah, because that hemostatic agent's pretty expensive sometimes.
Yeah, they do offer similar ones, and they sell in the range of $49 to $59, he said. So, but I'm going to get in touch with them here and try to get some of their kits in review, because, I mean, hey, if a kit is $20 for me, that seems to me, again, and I don't carry one, and that's probably a mistake, and I know it. You know, hey, if more people can carry one that's $20 and is affordable, and it still can at least get the job done until medical services can arrive, man, that is $20 really well spent.
It's actually interesting. I don't know if you guys read some of the comments on those, and you know, there's some individuals that, you know, I at least counted maybe 3 or 4 that were saying that if you're not licensed to practice medicine, like, do not touch anybody in that. Do not apply a tourniquet. Do not try and give medical service to somebody if you're not a medical professional, because if they make it to the hospital and it turns out you did something wrong or something you did led to some future complications, like, they could potentially come back and sue you. So I guess if you're really paranoid of you know, being sued for wrongful medical practice and you're not a doctor, yeah, that's something you might want to consider. But a lot of that seemed really like paranoid talk. But
yeah, I've heard people say that before, and then I've also heard the counter argument that if, you know, they get into surgery, that doctor is going to be more glad that something was done rather than nothing.
Well, you have to
depending on the situation, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. That's the answer for everything. But if you look at, like, you know, some places have Good Samaritan laws to where you're kind of required, but the Good Samaritan laws also do give you a little bit, if this is the correct term, liability coverage in some civil lawsuits and stuff. So, I mean, number one thing is get medically trained. Actually, we're talking about this way too much, and I apologize for bringing this up. But for those that listen to my show, they'll know that Greg, that was on the show, he hasn't been on in a while, is an EMT in San Antonio. We're actually going to be doing some videos here next time we get together. Because if you know how to use a tourniquet correctly, it can be a really, really good tool. But the number one thing would be always, put on bandages, apply pressure. Just doing those two things, 99.999% of the time, you're at least helping. So,
right.
Bandages, apply pressure.
Being that we spent a fair bit of time on it, I went ahead and added it to this week's show notes. So if you go to firearmsinsider.tv/podcast/075, you can see what we're talking about.
Right on. Now, we've talked quite a bit about this kit for how to patch somebody up, but let's talk about something a little bit more destructive and awesome. This is something that I'm sure if you've seen it on Facebook, if you've seen it on the blogs this last week, you're on board, you want one, you're on the waiting list. And this is a personal 49-state legal flamethrower called the XM42. And it is just the holy grail of awesomeness that you yourself can own for just $700.
For just pennies a day.
For pennies a day.
This thing is pretty amazing. It looks pretty compact. It's kind of like, I think it's stainless steel or something shiny. So it's either stainless steel or some kind of plated material or aluminum possibly. I haven't looked at all the specs to it, but it's pretty compact for something that is... You expect like that old style World War II where you have the two gigantic canisters on their back, but no, this has a small canister that about the size of like I guess like a little camp propane tank, just one of the small ones.
I would say don't worry about the specs. Ignore anything. Spend your money now. Just spend it. It's an Indiegogo thing, which by the way, from the looks of it, today they hit their goal of $40,000. So this is a go. And something just thrown there, and sorry to interrupt you there, TJ.
No problem.
It is on their Indiegogo, which is, for those who aren't familiar, it's similar to Kickstarter. They have you can donate $1. To like, hey, it's a big thank you. You can donate $1. 0% did that. The $5 one, 0%. Nobody did it. The $25, only one person did it. Everybody else has put their money into getting one, and I think that's awesome. Actually,
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
The most donated was the $699 one, which is getting a flamethrower. So minimum, there's 20 people that claimed that flamethrower. Then there's 14 more people who claimed a different one, and 17 more people who claimed a different one. So that's at least 31 plus. That's at least 51 flamethrowers are going to be made. That's awesome.
Yeah, now, if you don't get on board with the Indiegogo, looking at their site here, it's going to go up $100, I guess, for regular retail. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want to get that early bird price, you got to do it now before they start full-time producing these things. Now, it is pretty cool. It's got, like, the old, what are those planes called with the shark teeth on them? The World War II fighter planes.
The A-10 Warthog?
No, well, I guess the Warthog has a similar paint job on them. I was thinking of something else, though. But yeah.
Hellcat?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's got that kind of paint job on it, and you can get it either in polish finish and or powder coat. So it's pretty cool. If you don't want shiny metal, you can get it black. And here you go. On their website, they have what practical uses do flamethrowers have? They have clearing snow/ice, eliminating weeds between pavement cracks. I would love to see somebody doing that in a nice little urban neighborhood, just flamethrowing their sidewalk. Controlled burns and ground clearing of foliage and agriculture. Insect control. Pyrotechnic event displays. Bonfire starting, and a fun device to enjoy with your friends. So it's got tons of practical applications.
I'd say the number one is fun.
Yeah, right, because I can.
And depending on where you live, that insect control. I mean, mosquitoes, anthills, wasp nests. I mean, this is the answer to the African killer bee problem that I don't know if this is still a problem. But there's a lot of people that really, really want one. the whole thing is it's legal for civilian ownership in almost every single state except for, guess what, California. And Maryland. So unfortunately, California doesn't have enough water to put out the fires that you could potentially start with this. So I understand that.
By the way,
Maryland,
it was the P51. There was a watcher on YouTube that corrected us. P51. Well,
thank you, YouTube watcher.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The interesting part is
awesome. You're under. I gotta, for everybody out there, you gotta go to the show notes to view the video on this thing, because and we're not talking like, okay, this is like a flamethrower that shoots like a 5-foot flame. We're not talking like the NBC version here. We're talking like a full-on, like, Fox networks here. I'm using the weirdest type of way to describe this in TV terms, but we're talking this thing throws like a 20-foot flame.
This is almost short of Michael Bay status.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, perfect way to say it. Spend your money now. If I could afford this, I would totally do it. And you know what? I'd give it to my kids as a birthday present.
Well, just sell one and then just give it to the rest of them.
That's the best idea I've ever heard.
So what's interesting about it is that it doesn't run on a backpack. If you are familiar with the the World War style, you don't need to wear a backpack. This is all kind of a nice unit that you can hold with both hands. You've got 2 handles, one in the rear, and then one on the left side for you to hold, kind of almost like a chainsaw. But it doesn't run on any kind of proprietary gel or anything like that. It runs on gasoline, octane 87. So you could readily fill it at the gas station, which, as fun as this thing's going to be, you better have a gas card or one of those QFC rewards cards, because you're going to be going to the gas station a lot.
Yeah, this would be.
I'm interested to see how they're able to propel out a nice little stream using just gasoline that doesn't spray all over the place.
Yeah, because it mentions that it doesn't have to be pressurized or anything, but you would expect it to be kind of like one of those little fertilizer sprayers or something where you have to pump it. But it just says no need to worry about pressurizing, and it doesn't have any data on how long it'll run on one fill, but it has a 1-liter tank which supports a decent amount of constant on operation. That's a quote from their site. So they're still developing the reservoir, so they don't know exactly how long it's going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking at the picture here, there's a big warning label on the side. At the bottom it says, "Do not trigger pump for more than 5 seconds at a time."
Interesting. It does say we'll be recording data on 3/25 to inform everyone the actual time frame for the runtime, so that's tomorrow. So I guess we'll get a little bit more news tomorrow. Or by the time the show comes out, it'll be out already.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is just like, it is killer. I mean, it's got that shroud that goes over the whole front barrel nozzle. It looks very like industrialized, but built for war in your backyard.
Yeah, it's got that kind of like Ma Deuce ventilated shroud over the front, so it's pretty sweet.
Also, I think one correction: if you scroll down on their Indiegogo page, it shows California as a no-no. Then it also shows Maryland as a no-no.
Yeah, so, it said 49 legal, so I'm not sure. Maybe Maryland's an iffy.
Well, we don't count California as a state.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, that would still be true. 48.
Oh yeah.
Well, we are including Puerto
Rico.
Rico.
Good at math.
Oh, okay. Is Puerto Rico legal?
Yeah, we're swapping.
Or are they considering Michigan 2 states?
No, the top part is just Wisconsin, and that's stupid. But that's all the time.
So if it's pretty legendary. You guys gotta check this out, especially if this is gonna get the anti-gunners and the people that cry wolf when something badass comes out into the market that anybody can own. You better get yours now before they start passing flamethrower laws all over the place.
I'm sure New York is already drafting one right now.
Absolutely.
right after they get the machete laws passed.
Yeah, God.
Machete?
But that actually, I remember when I was younger, my step grandfather, I guess, he owned a tree cutting business, and he had some form of a propane flamethrower that he would use to start his bonfires after he collected enough tree limbs. So I guess they're just kind of made a better used one. I guess they're legal, and just most people don't realize that, I guess.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check that out, the website for that is xm42.com.
That's 42, the numerals.
Yeah, the numerals 42. So pretty. It's kind of hard to. I'm glad we talked about the previous product because it's starting out a show with this flamethrower. It's really hard to follow that act. So, actually, the next item that we got is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of weeks. There's a holster company that actually is very, very close to where I am at. They're in Leavenworth, Washington. It's kind of like a Bavarian town. But anyway, they're called Gunfighters, Inc., and they make these Kydex holsters, and you can buy them online and locally. When I go to all the gun shops that are in this city, usually there's always a rack full of Gunfighters, Inc. Kydex holsters. And what's cool is they make them, of course, in Kydex black, but they also dip them as well. So it's not uncommon to see on the shelf, a Glock 19 holster that's been dipped in multicam, or a SIG P226 that's been dipped in cryptic Highlander. So it's kind of cool that that's available so easily locally. I believe they call those the Wraith holsters, but they've got a holster that actually piqued my interest. It's called the Kenai chest holster. It's $150, and what it is, it's a Kydex holster that's made to fit your revolver or your Glock 20 or 10 millimeter. And they've got one for Ruger Redhawks and Super Redhawks, and they have one that's kind of more generic for, I guess, like the Smith & Wesson revolvers. But this would be a Kydex holster that has kind of a 3-point attachment system that would be really easy to use and put over your hunting gear, your backpack, your hunting coat or vest or whatever you're wearing. And this would be a way to kind of backpack into the woods on a hunting trip or camping trip and have your firearm like right on your chest. I think I've seen a couple people have like the Galco, I forget what they call it, but it's a similar style holster where it holds out in front, but it's really expensive and it's leather, and of course it's got the spots for you to put the ammunition in it, kind of like a bandolier. But for $150, this is actually kind of a cool product. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. Because it does seem like a large chunk of change for a revolver or a holster made of Kydex that just got straps that are riveted to it. But
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. They've got a lot of pictures. People were walking around like fishing in the rivers and having it on them. And like I said, there's also one for the Glock. So if you're a 10 millimeter guy, you've got some Glock love there. It's mostly, for bear. There's usually only black bears in Washington, but like Alaska or other states that might have the brown bear and grizzly bear, kind of seconds count when there's an encounter, and having that right on your chest not only makes it faster to unholster and use, but also if you're hunting and you've got like a main rifle, you've got it slung over your shoulder. If you've got your revolver on an outside the waistband holster on your hip, the stock of your rifle and your revolver are going to be hitting each other all day long. And even getting in and out of a vehicle with a 7-inch revolver or a 9-inch revolver hanging off your belt, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So shifting it to your chest is a lot better, I think.
Yeah, I think another good feature, I guess, would be to keep it, like you said, off your belt line. They have, for example, one picture of a guy carrying a backpack, and it's got the waist strap and all that stuff, and it would be pretty hard to get to a gun if you have, if you have your waist strap on your backpack or anything like that around it. And then, like Ryan said, they have pictures of guys fishing and stuff. I think it'd be really good for, like if you're in waders. To where you don't have to get past those waders to get to it. It's right there on your chest, and I guess depending on your style of waders, you could even conceal it behind if you have a overall type wader or just overalls in general.
Yeah. I can tell you, at my work, we actually sell a lot of the Smith & Wesson 460 VXRs, and I see this as a great way. We sell it to a lot of guys that go hog hunting in Texas and Georgia and Florida. We sell a lot of the 460 VXRs because you can get, the, what is it, a 13-inch barrel, I think, on it, the longest barrel on the Smith & Wesson 460.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, and so, all the time, actually, this is literally, I'm going to go into work the next time at work and literally give this link to my coworker because I know a guy that is looking for something. But we sell a lot of it to hog hunter guys because at my work we have a lot of rich dudes that have nothing else better to do, so they go hunt hogs. What's better to do? For me, if you have a long-barreled revolver, and again, especially with the downsides with leather are it takes in moisture. It can actually become a safety hazard. You get some Kydex, the thing's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
And that's the real bonuses with it. And again, too, I like the lack of a better term, we'll say a 3-point attachments. There's 3 attachment points on the holster. You can really it looks like you can really set it up any way you want it, and have it ride wherever you want to. I do agree with Ryan. I think, man, $150, dude, that is quite a bit on it. But hey, if it's if it solves a solution or it solves a problem and is a solution for you, you know what? It could be $150 well spent.
Right. Yeah, and I know it looks like pretty good quality too. They've got really wide straps on them. These good at least 2-inch webbing, and then all the stitching is, I think they call it like a cross box or something like that, where you see the stitching with the square with the X in it. That's a pretty good durability when it comes to stitching there. And like Nick said, you have ton of adjustability in it. You could have it higher up on your chest or lower down, I guess, on your abdomen, or you could put it off to like a cross draw, or maybe just directly on the front of your chest. It seems like pretty versatile.
Yep, and it's available in Cryptic Yeti, Cryptic Typhon, Cryptic Nomad, Cryptic Highlander, Cryptic Mandrake, Carbon Fiber, Multicam, Desert Digital, ATAX FG, and ATAX AU, which is like the tanner, the original ATAX. The FG is kind of the greener. Also black, coyote tan, storm gray, and pink. So rest assured, Nick, you can get a pink one.
Oh, I was worried.
Yeah, and the webbing is available in black or coyote. So, and as far as all the firearms that's available for, you can email them for a complete list, but it's available for all major firearms. So I know I said some revolvers and Glock, like 20 or 10 millimeters. All 1911s, Glocks, Rugers, Smith & Wesson revolvers. It sounds like that they can basically make it for most all major firearms. So, if you carry one specific gun into the woods that you are more confident with and trust your life on, chances are they make a holster for it, and they can make a Kenai chest holster out of it. So if you're interested in that, go on over to gunfightersinc.com, Gunfighters Incorporated, and you can look that over. It's called the Kenai under their products. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm trying to get a hold of them. I'd love to maybe have them on the show since they're so close. I mean, I can be in Leavenworth in 15, 20 minutes. So it'd be great to talk to them and get some of them on the show, maybe get some products on the air. But I just wanted to share that for you guys, especially for the hunters. Go ahead, Nick.
I say just give them a call and say, hey, how many dudes that has a Magpul tramp stamp, dude? Come on the show.
That's right.
And they offer it in Cryptic Typhon, so it'll match your tramp stamp.
Yeah, actually my tramp stamp's in multicam.
Yeah. Guess we got it wrong last week.
Yeah, it's okay. It's so when I'm laying down on the shooting mat, and I'm laying prone, and my shirt rides up, like my lower back just blends in with the shooting mat.
People just look down and they're like, "There's a hole in that guy."
That's right.
You can see straight through him.
Yeah. Anyway, so next up, this is, speaking of 10 millimeter and 45 also, Olympic Arms, also from my state of Washington. They make an AR-15 pistol chambered in 45 ACP or 10 millimeter. So I just wanted to show you guys that. So if you go to oliarms.com, it's called the K24P, and they have a 45 or a 10 millimeter, and they are optics ready. So you got a flat top. The barrel is 11.5 inches. It's got just a two-piece standard handguard on there, nothing special, A2 style. What do you guys think?
I think this is pretty awesome to have a small 45 or 10 millimeter basically carbine. I know it's a pistol because it doesn't have a stock on it. It's an AR pistol. I think it's got a 11.5-inch barrel, and it's got the little padded receiver cover, I guess, or buttstock. Not buttstock, but what do you call it? Receiver extension tube cover. There you go.
Pistol buffer tube sleeve.
All right, cool. And so it says, that's a little odd. Their description says 9mm optics ready, so I wonder if they have a 9mm version as well.
They do. I think they just copied and pasted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must be. You need to get on them, Ryan. Being a website guy. But
and also for the record, it also says it's not available online.
Well, they are a manufacturer, and a lot of manufacturers don't sell their products straight online. You got to go through a distributor, so that's probably why.
I mean, I guess my only issue with it is, I'll be honest, a couple issues. Number one, I've not heard of great reliability out of Olympic Arms. I know they're trying to do out of the box stuff. I know they tried doing like a 270 AR and other stuff. So I give them that they're trying to do stuff different. I think that's cool, and I think that's awesome. However, I've heard of a lot of issues out of their products. I have not personally had any hands-on them, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. But for me, if like $1,000 for an AR pistol, and 45 ACP, I would spend. If I spent that much, I can make a really sweet like 300 blackout, AR pistol, or I mean any AR caliber. $1,000, you could make a sweet one. So for me, it's just like, hey, if it was like $500, sure, great, that'd be awesome. But for $1,000, man, I could build something a little bit better in a better caliber.
You could even get a G9 for right around there, right, Ryan?
Oh yeah.
Lone Wolf's G9 carbine, which is basically the same thing, an AR pistol and a pistol caliber.
Yeah, right for around there. It just depends on if you want the SIG brace, or if you got one of your own and you want to just get the lower and whatnot. But
yeah,
Olympic Arms makes a lot of pistol caliber AR-15 pistols. They've got some that accept the Glock magazines in the lowers, but they also have their own magazine that looks. I've never seen it before. For a second, I thought it was just like a prop to stand the gun up for a photo. It's a gnarly looking magazine that's straight and thick with almost no curve to it, and I guess they make it for pistol calibers, so it's kind of like a proprietary conversion magazine that it looks like it'd be about the same size as a standard AR-15 magazine, but you can put your 45 ACP, your 40 Smith & Wesson, your 10 millimeter in it. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of what caught my eye first. I know a lot of guys are clamoring for a 10 millimeter pistol, but they're too lazy to like build one on their own. Just getting different parts. So this would be a way for you to get that 10 millimeter pistol that if you're so hot on that 10 millimeter round and you want one in an AR platform, and you don't want it to be redundantly large barrel over the stock, you want to go the AR pistol route, this would be one option for you.
Yeah. One thing, just to kind of...
Go ahead.
To kind of, I guess, add on to Nick's criticism, because one phrase that's always bothered me is optics ready, because to me that just says, we didn't feel like shelling out an extra $60 to throw some sights on it. And if I'm spending $1,038 on a gun, I would prefer to have sights on it. That's just a personal nitpick, I guess.
Even like the Magpul plastic, MBUS sights or
something.
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 Yeah.
Yep, I definitely agree with you guys there. I mean, even if they ditch the A2 two-piece handguard and the grip, and they put on some Magpul like MOE gear. Even if it wasn't the SL line, if it was just the old MOE gear, I could see, those are some nice upgrades. But for over 1,000,
definitely.
I'm gonna want to do quite a bit to just customize it a little bit more. But yeah, put some iron sights on it, for God's sake.
Right. For maybe a little over $100, they could have, like you said, a little better furniture and iron sights on it. So, or plastic sights, I guess you could say in this situation.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're like a hog hunter, this would be, a good hog hunting platform, I guess, especially if you're going through the brush. You're not necessarily taking longer shots from your helicopter or your jacked up Jeep Wrangler, but you're walking through the woods, tracking them down. It's nice to have something small and compact that you can, kind of point shoot. That would be a lot of fun. Scary as hell, but a lot of fun.
Now, I wonder if you could have a Kanai tactical chest rig made for this.
That would be cool. I want this thing on my chest.
How many things do you want on your chest tonight, Ryan?
It's just one of those nights where I just want to frog lube and 10 millimeter, like just rub it all over. Anyway, so if you want to check that out, go on over to oliarms.com. I promise I'm not going to say anything more about putting things on my chest. Just to mention that those magazines that it takes, those Oli Arms magazines are $45.44. So that's how much a mag costs. So that might also play into whether or not you want one of those or not.
Yeah, it could honestly be worse, being that they're proprietary. So I think they're a little pricey, but they could definitely be worse.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into the main topic of the Firearms Insider reviews. Did anyone else bring a review today but me? Nobody?
Nope, not me.
That's good. That means that this will be a nice, short, sweet episode, or at least shorter than what they have been getting. Except when Nick runs it, and it runs under an hour. You magical beast, you. So I'm going to be reviewing today the SnapSafe Lockbox XL. So what this is, it's a handgun safe. It's very affordable. It's only $23. You can also get it in a set. They call it the key to life pair for $50. So the advantage of that is, every safe you get, 2 keys to unlock it. If you get the key to life pair, you actually get 2 of these handgun safes, and you get a total of 4 keys, and both of them are key to life. So it's basically you got 4 copies of the same key. So that way, if you're in a relationship and your partner has a safe, you can access each other's safes. Or if you had one in your vehicle, one in your home, one in your office, one somewhere else, it's kind of nice to have. And this is what do they call that? TSA approved, as far as meets TSA airline firearm guidelines. So opening this bad boy up, it's got a foam interior. It's kind of my only negative really about this is the foam. Even though it is 9 millimeters thick, like I've actually measured it, it's not dense. It's kind of a low density, so it compacts really easily. So when you put a firearm in here, and you close it, even though especially if it's a single stack, like I put a Smith & Wesson Shield in here, and then I closed it, locked it, and I can shake that thing around. Even a double stack like this, I put a Glock 19 in here, but here's a Smith & Wesson Compact that's still a double stack. I put it in here and I close the lid. I can still hear that gun kind of shake around and bang into the interior walls, and that's not really something you want. It's not like your safe's gonna be, getting flipped upside down and whatnot, but like if you got it in your car and you're going 4-wheeling or whatnot, you don't really want your firearm to be rocking and rolling in there. So right away, I wish that the foam was a little bit thicker, so that it would kind of compress the firearm and sandwich it and keep it from moving around so much. Other than that, it does come with a steel cable, which you can easily loop inside of itself like a lasso, and so then you can run this around like the fastener to your car seat, the mount at the bottom, a bedpost, a very heavy office desk, something that's not really going to be easily moved around, and so someone can just defeat this and unslip it from whenever you wrap it around and take your safe box home to whack at it. So I haven't gotten a chance to really take a sledgehammer to the thing. I don't really want to do that, but I don't think it's meant to withstand that. It's really meant for peace of mind and security. You got this at home, in your office, or in your vehicle. So if you're not there and a kid gets into it, they're not going to be able to get into your gun and access it very easily. It does have one extra security feature, which is really nice. The interior has an extra layer of steel that kind of overlaps the seam. So when you close the two halves together, it actually acts as kind of a counter to if someone were to take a pry bar or a screwdriver and try and pry these two halves apart. You wouldn't be able to because that inner steel is overlapping. So you're not going to be able to really dig in there with that tool and get the bite you need to leverage and pry it open. So not saying that if you're persistent enough, you couldn't get in here, but chances are you're going to really bugger up whatever's in here by the time you get it cracked open. So other than that, the dimensions are 9.5 by 6.5. I've put a 1911 in here. It fits my Ruger SR 1911, which is a Commander. In its holster, its Bianchi holster, it fit in here all in one piece. Your holster might not fit in here, but that's just fine. It does have a thickness of 1 3/4 inches on the inside. So overall, when you close the two halves, it's just right about 2 inches, or I'm sorry, 2.5 inches. So as long as there's a space that is 3 inches, you can slide this under it. So if you're talking about underneath your bed, in the closet, underneath any kind of hidden compartment you have, yeah, so it's just a hair above 2 inches. So actually, 2.5 inches or 2 1/4. If that's all the space you have, you should be able to shove this guy in that crevice. It's made out of 18 gauge heavy steel. It's easy to operate. The key lock, obviously. It's got a 1,500 pound steel test security cable, and they say that the foam, they call it thick protective foam, but obviously we already saw it's not very thick. Yeah, and so the option of getting just one for $23, or you can get two for $50. So you might be saying to yourself, well, how the hell did they add $2 in there? Well, the key to convenience, I guess, is an extra $2. So you're not really saving in the wholesale mindset by getting a pair, but it's still only $50. A lot of people don't have any kind of safe because if it costs more than a box of ammunition, they don't really see the point. They're like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just wrap it in a coat and shove it under my seat. Well, $23. That's most likely less than a box of decent range ammo. Just get it so you have it for security. Some states even require, if you're traveling through, you got to have your firearm in a locked compartment. So this would be qualifying for that.
Question for you.
Go ahead.
Which one's more expensive, a box of 357 SIG to feed your M&P, or the case?
Easily the ammo. 357 SIG. You're looking at
it's in the 30s.
You're lucky to be in the 30s, man. And $40, maybe $38 to $45 for a box of ammo. If it's hollow points, or if you get the PPU stuff, that stuff's a little bit cheaper. But yeah, it's even decent 45. Or self-defense, hydroshocks or things like that. Everyone knows that those can be easily over $25. Bam, that's your safe right here. So it's really easy. There's nothing really complicated about it. The hinges on it are actually pretty nice and robust. Like I said, I haven't taken a ball-peen hammer or sledgehammer and wailed on it, but I feel like for what this is meant to do is to just keep it locked up and inaccessible. It does a really good job. So what other people are saying, I found 2 reviews on Amazon.com. One says, I like the steel construction. For the price, the construction is decent. Only thing I would change is either thicker foam. My 1911 sits okay, but if the foam was a 1/4 inch thicker on both sides, it would sit nice and snug without moving if the safe is dropped. If the safe is dropped or shaken, the gun placed inside would hit the bare steel on the side or on the inside. The other review says, this XL safe is awesome. It's big, much bigger than the competitors. I'm able to put 2 large guns along with the clips and ammo in one box, yet thin enough to slide it in my nightstand. The safe is constructed very strong, and the cable allows me to attach it to anything so it can't be moved. This is yet another great addition to the Snap Safe line of products. Defiantly, I think he means definitely, going to be getting some for my friends and family. So if you want to get it you can get it from snapsafe.com, which is actually a little bit less than Amazon.com. But if you've got Amazon Prime or if you've got some money on that or gift cards, you can definitely get it through Amazon. And in the review notes, I have the Amazon affiliate link. So if you could click that, that'd be great. So overall, I gave it an 8.0 as great. Pros: large interior dimension, can fit 2 compact size pistols or 1 full size, like a full size 1911. The setup 2 key-to-like makes home and vehicle storage a little bit easier. You don't have to move it from your car to your home and constantly uncable it. You can just transfer it between lock boxes. And these steel reinforcements that provide the counter against prying tools is kind of really nice that you don't really see on other competitive models. At least the ones that you can go down and buy at Walmart or whatever. The cons: the foam lining on the interior needs a big buff. I mean, it's so low density, I feel like it's almost not doing anything besides, keeping things from scratching up against just the top and bottom lid. And it's also not glued or adhered, so at least that's a good thing because I can easily just pull it out and then use the shape to go out and get some nicer foam and cut it out to the right shape. So that would be something that I'd have to do in order to feel more comfortable about my prized firearms not sliding around in this thing. It is made in China, but it is very good quality for what it is. When the lids are closed, it doesn't really rattle around or anything like that. In the cable, there's a little porthole in the left side here that the cable goes through and feeds through. So it's kind of a really nice option. I feel like almost every hotel or motel should have one of these in the room for you. That would be a really nice complimentary thing. I guess the only other negative is that if you carry something like a revolver, if it's longer than a 5-inch barrel, I don't see you getting it in here. My Ruger Red Hawk 7-inch barrel won't fit in here. My Smith & Wesson 686 with a 6-inch barrel won't fit in here. And most disappointingly, my favorite carry revolver, my Nerf Strong Arm, won't fit in here. I mean, come on, guys.
Not even close.
Not even close. I mean, this is the one thing that I carry around when I go to schools and stuff. I need it for my protection, and it won't fit.
That's a semi-automatic revolver too, isn't it?
That is a single action only, but slide operated, automatically indexing revolver. It's pretty awesome. I chronoed it. It's like 30 feet per second. It's pretty rad. So anyway, that is my review. I think that this is a firing. I didn't mention it all yet, but it's a firing line review. So I met someone from SnapSafe at SHOT Show, and they wanted me to review this item. So this is definitely a firing line review. But definitely recommend checking this stuff out and going to SnapSafe's website, snapsafe.com, and checking out their different lock boxes. You can, of course, get smaller ones if you need it to fit something a little bit more compact. And you've got definitely a smaller pocket pistol. You don't need all the room for your magazines and whatnot. You can get a smaller one there.
For $23, it's hard to go wrong. I mean, just for me looking at it, the construction looks fantastic. For $23, it's hard to go wrong.
Yeah, it's got a really nice coating on it. It's attractive. I've certainly, spent $23 on much worse quality things. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a $100 with the mini safe vaults or whatever that has the push finger 4-digit finger 5-finger code thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's sitting up on my safe right over there. I haven't used it in forever because it's crap. especially seems I paid like $100 for it or $75 for it. It's not worth it. This one though, for $23, hard to go wrong.
Yep, and I feel like I've seen SnapSafe, on store shelves before, so it's not like it's an online only deal. But for $23 on the website, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, imagine for that price, you probably carry it in a lot of the big box stores. I would imagine Walmart and Academy and stuff like that.
You can get a key-to-light pair from the website. Get one for you, get one from your girlfriend or your wife, and that way she can't be mad at you because you got her something too. You can put whatever she wants in it because you got the keys to it too. So next, moving forward, we're going to go on to the Tech Gadget or App section. And this week, I actually saw this in the back of a Predator Hunter magazine. This is the Pulsar Forward DFA 750. And it's an attachment that attaches to your existing rifle scope to give it digital night vision capabilities. So the MSRP on that is $2,399.99. Kind of stiff, but considering that it is basically like an adapter, it just goes right on the end of your existing scope, and you can use the scope during the day, no problem at all, and then you can flip this thing on at low light or at night, and then you instantly have the ability to engage paper or critters at night.
Yeah, that's really cool to be able to. Would be really useful to have around, especially like you were talking about hog hunting earlier. It'd be kind of neat to have something for that, or like coyotes, just whatever kind of predator quadrupeds. Some of the features it has easy mounting, which it has a set of adapters to let you reduce the size to whatever size scope. So if you have like a 40 millimeter objective, you could mount it on there. If you have a 50, you could mount it. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't say the maximum size, but I'm sure they've taken all the standard sizes into account. It's got a video out, which is pretty cool. So if you want to record your hunts or your whatever you see, that would be pretty neat option. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where guys will take videos of them shooting varmints through their night vision scopes. So that's pretty neat option there.
I mean, I'm not a night hunter guy because anything night vision's out of my range. Just night vision, I can't afford it. But
basically.
I mean, it looks great if you already have a nice high-end optic and you got the money to spend on it. Probably a good way to go. But in this price range, can't you get at least a semi-decent night vision optic in its own? I really don't look too much into it because again, when you hear night vision, it means expensive.
Yep,
so,
basically. I haven't looked into it either because the same reason. I just kind of immediately think, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely get something, that for this amount of money, something that's just a scope in itself. And you can definitely get that from Pulsar too. But this is kind of like, I guess you'd have it in your pack, and you'd be, doing shooting during the daytime, and then when the sun goes down, this is something that you don't have to uninstall your scope, install something else, and re-zero. You basically keep the same zero, and you put this on. I do understand that there's kind of a zeroing process when you put it on your rifle scope from the get-go, and I'm not sure if that retains that zero later on. I got to read a little bit more into that, but I think for the most part, if your scope's on, you should be pretty good to go. The other things that it has on it, it's got a wireless remote control to allow you to turn the unit on and off without having to reach forward and get it. It's got a built-in infrared illuminator and an enhanced sensitivity function without using the main controls. It's got an external power supply, and it also has a external power jack. During continued use in cold weather, freezing, the external power supply units can be, you can keep them in your clothes, on your person, so they stay a little bit warm.
Yeah, give you a little better battery life on that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I really see this as the if someone is like they're literally their job is like varmint control, whether it be day, night, whatever, something like this is really, I think, the solution for them. It's not the guy that's, hey, I want to go night shooting one time, type of deal. But for me, if this is your job or this is in your field, this is probably a really good solution. Again, as Ryan talked about there, this is a way that you can go from standard optic to night vision and keep your your same setup, keep your same familiarity, and not have to change, for lack of a better term, weapon system platforms or optics, or use a quick detach to switch optics or something. For me, this seems like a really good solution for the person that does, varmint control or whatever type of shooting at day and night. This would probably be a really good solution.
Yeah, and it does have its own magnification on there too. So it looks like it varies. Let's see. Most night vision scopes have a fixed magnification, not exceeding 6 times. Coupled with the day sight, it gives you a nice tool to be able to zoom in and out. So I'm sorry, I thought this thing had its own magnification, but by putting this as an attachment on your scope, you get the benefit of having a night vision scope that's whatever magnification adjustment that you already had. So if I've got a Vortex Viper 4:16, it'd be crazy for other. No manufacturer has a night vision scope that goes up to 16. As far as the visual quality, whether it gets grainy when you zoom in, I don't know. You gotta watch. I'm watching some of the YouTube videos right now, and there's a lot of like CG, like computer-generated images, so I can't really tell if it's fact or not. But that's one big benefit, is that if the infrared illuminator is basically, if the target's close enough for that infrared to kind of bounce off and show up in your scope, I mean, you should have enough magnification to definitely make a nice shot on it, instead of being limited to like 4 times zoom. Whether it's worth $2,400, I'm sure it is, but $2,400 can get you a lot of nice stuff these days.
Go buy one and let us know.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, I'm sure for somebody it's worth it. Just not something like Nick said, maybe not for the everyday consumer, for maybe somebody that kind of requires it more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really into like coyote hunting, I mean, obviously there's amazing coyote hunting at night, or fox hunting, and a lot of people are getting into recording that, putting it on YouTube, or if you're really into like the competitive coyote shooting, harvesting, this might be something that's worth it to you in the long run, kind of more of an investment than just like a nice little plaything to throw in your range bag.
There's a competition for that?
Yeah, they've got some in Washington. There's coyote derbies. I know
that's awesome.
I know. I've never done one because I just don't have time, and I like to sleep. This would be like a 48-hour like just overdosed on caffeine to stay awake sort of thing.
Wow.
Anyway,
that sounds awesome.
So it's like SHOT Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Number one question: can you bring the flamethrower?
I'm sure you could.
That would be awesome.
Just burn the forest down and claim all the wins.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too, is that if you're duck hunting and you got that flamethrower, man, if they get close enough, you can cook the duck before it even falls to the ground.
Roast duck.
Yep. So anyway, let's get on to listener feedback. We do have 2 new reviews, and so let's see. One was left on March 13th. They gave us a 4-star review. It's from RJ Spills. Says, the good podcast, detailed reviews. The reviews are always detailed and in-depth. Ryan can be dry at times, especially during a review, but I think that's mostly due to the lack of comment from his co-hosts. Sometimes his voice sounds congested and sounds timid. When he's excited and really gets going, it's a great show. You can tell when Nick's on, my voice is always excited, and I'm ready to go. Keep up the good work. If you get a better co-host, I think it would be easily a 5-star podcast. Now, nobody take that personally. There's no names but my own listed. So I do think I have some great co-hosts. I think that depending on what I'm talking about, I might have added it to the show notes because I think it's pertinent, but my co-hosts, they might have just seen it the day before. Because I usually do show notes a couple days before we record. So they might not be as thrilled about it if it's not something hot and exciting like a flamethrower or the Glock 43. So that's just good constructive feedback, and I really appreciate that. I take that to heart. So thank you for that. And then the other one left on March 14th says, just great podcast, 5-star review, useful info, good review, and products I wouldn't normally hear about. So thank you to you both for that review. You guys are entered in the Gunstruction giveaway that I'm having that I failed to mention at the beginning of the show, so I'll take the time to do so now. So basically, I picked up these Gunstruction promo kits from SHOT Show, which include some cool patches. And here's a little chevron, or I don't know what you call this shape, this banner shape. It says SHOT Show 2015. The Gunstruction logo. The patch says low speed, high drag. There's also a smaller patch that says as seen on Instagram. And one of the cooler things is that it comes with this plastic dust cover for your AR-15 that's really thick and robust, and it has the Gunstruction logo molded into it. And of course, it's got the this little pain in the ass little spring that I lose all the time, all there too. So you get that, and you get a promo code to download Gunstruction on your iPhone for free, and it's like a $2 app usually. So it's kind of a nice little giveaway if you have an iPhone and you like the idea of building custom AR-15s digitally in an interactive realm. Gunstruction's an awesome app. You can almost build any AR-15 configuration you can possibly dream of. And you can save it, you can print it, you can show your friends. Yeah, it's awesome. So I've got those two. The deadline for iTunes reviews that count as entries for the giveaway. I'm going to say that the end of April, so what did I say, April 30th, so next month, the 30th. So keep those reviews coming. So 2 people is going to win those prizes. Also, in place of plugging another show on the Firearms Radio Network, which you should go to the Firearms Radio website and check out all the other shows, I want to put in we're doing a giveaway on the Firearms Radio Network. And this is the EDC car giveaway. So I got a link in the show notes to that website, or you can go to firearmsradio.tv/EDC. And it's the Car Arms EDC giveaway. How to enter if you're a patron. I'm sorry, you can tell I like Patron. A Patreon of any of the shows that are listed. So the Gun Guy Radio, This Week in Guns, We Like Shooting, or just the Firearms Radio Network. You're eligible and you're already entered. But if you're not, you need to sign up to be a Patreon of one of those 4 shows. And what we're giving away is which car is it?
The P9, which is, I think, their 7-round polymer pistol, which is, it's not their economy line. It's the full-featured one with the little better looking slide serrations and lettering, and I think a polygonal barrel.
Nice. And then not only that, to sweeten the deal, that we've gotten some other sponsors to throw in some gear to kind of juice it up. So we got Alien Gear holsters, Keybar, Hellbent holsters, Precisioneer, Easy 2C targets, Sensu Brunner Designs, Wazoo Survival Gear, and LA Police Gear. So that's pretty exciting. You guys should take a look at being a Patreon of one of those podcasts. And then you're entered for a chance to win. So it looks like it's running from March 30th. So I guess I'm announcing this a little preemptively, but it'll probably be the 30th by the time you're hearing this, all the way until June 30th.
Yep.
So yeah.
All it takes is $1. You just or $1 per episode, I guess. So $4 or $5 a month, depending on how many releases for whichever show you decide to support, and you could win, I think, somewhere. So I think it's over $1,000 prize pack, so it's really cool. It's got kind of that whole, like Ryan said, the EDC theme, to where it's got kind of one of everything: flashlight, knife, gun, holster. I'm not entirely sure everything else that was in it, but it's a pretty good outfit.
Tell you what, I bet if you gave away a flamethrower, it would be awesome.
Right. Yeah, well, the Gun and Gear Review podcast does not have a Patreon, but if you send me $1, I'll put in a good word for you. Get you into the top of the line.
Yeah, I think if we were giving away a flamethrower, I would just turn in my resignation and submit a whole bunch of entries. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys.
I would. Yes, you would. Don't lie. We all want flamethrowers. Everybody does.
But if you get one instead of the handgun newbie, you got to start a podcast called the Flamethrower Newbie.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd cook so many things. There'd be so many videos.
Frog lube is probably good for third-degree burns, I bet you.
Probably.
Now, Nick, you have some friends at, American Defense Manufacturing?
I do.
You need to find out if they can make an underslang mount for an AR to fit that flamethrower.
I'm sure we can make it happen. Get some cutie mounts on it.
Nice.
Right on. So, in closing, send questions or comments to podcast@firearmsinsider.tv or myself, cross@firearmsradio.tv. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, especially if you want to win some of the prizes we got going on every month. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network on firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and future industry coverage, including the NRA show coming up that our resident co-host TJ is going to be going to. Is that right?
Yep, I'll be there, and I'm going to try to post a ton of pictures and videos while I'm there. So just keep an eye out on the Facebook page and to get those updates.
Good. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for both joining me. It was a pleasure being on another podcast with you. And thank you, Nick, for joining and also covering for me last week. It means a lot to me.
Hey, no problem at all, buddy.
Yeah, just next time stick to the script, okay?
We're going rogue. We're going rogue.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good week. Everyone shoot safe, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
All right. See you, Ryan.
Yep.
Take care.